On July 30th, Ford Shukra received a call. He was on the second floor of his house in Beirut. The call asked him to go to the 7th floor. Moments later, a strike hit the building. The Hezbollah commander was dead, along with his wife and 2 other children. Now, Shukra was hiding for decades. His neighbors say he was like a ghost, which meant this was a security breach. And who was behind this attack? It was Israel.
We are hitting Hezbollah with surprising thrusts. 3 weeks ago, we eliminated his chief of staff. Nasrallah in Beirut and Khamenei in Tehran should know that this is another step on the way to changing the situation in the north and returning our citizens safely to their homes. And I repeat, this is not the end of the story.
The Hezbollah vowed to hit back, and they did. They launched hundreds of drones and rockets. It overwhelmed Israel's Iron Dome. West Asia was on a knife's edge. It looked like a wider war could break out at any moment. Yet, it didn't.
Result is satisfactory and achieves the intended goal, then we consider that the operation in retaliation for the killing of Al-Hajj Mohsen and the targeting of Dahia is done. And if the result is not enough from our point of view, then we retain the right to respond another time.
Israel and Hezbollah walked back from the brink, and it's not the first time. The two sides have seen a fair share of flare-ups, but is an all-out war inevitable? July 12, 2006. It started out as a peaceful morning, but things took a turn for the worse. Israel was patrolling its northern border. That's when Hezbollah launched a raid. They attacked an Israeli patrol, killed 3 soldiers, injured 2 more, and took 2 of them hostage. Israel didn't notice it at first. They took some time to figure out that 2 men were missing. But once they did, all hell broke loose.
It was a quiet day. Everything was normal. Then we were caught in a Hezbollah ambush. They shot at us from all sides. 2 of my friends, who were in the same truck as I was, were kidnapped by Hezbollah. Everyone who was in the second truck was killed.
Ehud Olmert was Israel's prime minister back then. He called it an act of war. Israel wanted revenge. Thus began a month-long inconclusive conflict. Israel attacked Lebanon. Hezbollah hit back with rocket fire. 119 Israeli soldiers were killed. 43 civilians lost their lives. As for the Hezbollah, they lost around 500 fighters, but over 1,200 Lebanese citizens were killed. The war was devastating. In a month, both sides declared victory, but no one had actually won. So that's the last war Israel and Hezbollah fought. It was in 2006. It has been 18 years since then, but that doesn't mean that things have been exactly peaceful. In 2007, northern Israel was hit by 2 rockets. It hit a border town. There were no casualties. However, Hezbollah says it wasn't them. In 2010, there was another deadly border battle. 2 Lebanese soldiers lost their lives. So did a senior Israeli soldier. In 2013, 4 Israeli soldiers were hit by a blast. It was claimed by Hezbollah. Things escalated further in 2014. Israeli warplanes carried out an air raid. It was at Lebanon's border with Syria. That year, Israel struck 2 Hezbollah positions, and more such clashes continued. In 2015, Israel carried out a raid in Golan Heights. 6 Hezbollah members were killed. So was an Iranian general. Hezbollah couldn't just let it go, so they ambushed the Israeli military in the Sheba Hills. 2 Israeli soldiers lost their lives. And in retaliation, Israel bombed villages in southern Lebanon. So until 2015, it was a stream of tit-for-tat attacks. The next 4 years saw some quiet, minor clashes here and there. But let's fast forward to 2019. Again, Israel and Hezbollah had a week of tensions, but this time it boiled over. Hezbollah fired missiles at an Israeli army base. Israel fired at southern Lebanon. This was the first time Hezbollah claimed an attack in Israel since 2006, so tensions were running high. The United Nations called for restraint from both sides. In 2021, there were clashes again, nothing major. But then came October 7, 2023. Hamas attacked Israel. A war broke out in Gaza. And since then, Israel and Hezbollah have traded fire almost daily. There have been strikes, counterattacks, a lot of posturing, but no active conflict. The question is, will that change soon?
I can't tell you now if Hezbollah decides to fully enter the war. If Hezbollah decides to enter the war, it will long for the Second Lebanon War. They will be making the biggest mistake of their lives. And we will hit them with an unimaginable force. It will mean devastation for them and the state of Lebanon.
That's what Netanyahu said last October. He said if Hezbollah chooses war, it will mean devastation. It has been 10 months since then. Hezbollah hasn't chosen war, and neither has Israel. And you can understand why. The Hezbollah is not Hamas. Its military power is far superior. Their current arsenal includes at least 150,000 missiles and rockets. Also, these missiles have a range of up to 500 kilometers. That makes Hezbollah capable of striking all of Israel. Plus, they have trained fighters. Hezbollah says they have 100,000 men. Military estimates put that number at around 70,000. Even then, it's a deadly force. Many of them have had combat experience. Also, Hezbollah holds sway over large parts of southern Lebanon. It has built multiple tunnels and hideouts there. So a war with Hezbollah won't be easy for Israel. And right now, the world wants to avoid any such scenario. Diplomatic efforts are underway to prevent any such situation.
We have been concerned about the conflict escalating into an all-out regional war since October 7th, and we have worked round the clock with partners and allies, moving military assets, engaging in intensive diplomacy, both publicly and privately behind the scenes, to avert that outcome.
Israel and Hezbollah say they don't want war, but they both seem ready for it. So for the citizens of Lebanon, it's a dangerous waiting game. When the war last came to the edges of Lebanon's capital Beirut, many of them fled. This time around, they have nowhere to go and no sense of when hostilities may end.
Hopefully the situation will calm down. If the US and Europe keep standing with Israel, it will be difficult. They will destroy the entire Middle East. They only care about their own interests, not the interests of other countries.
Now it's a psychological war more than a normal war. It is just a psychological one. Nothing will happen. The war will not happen.
So what's next? For now, things are calm. The boiling tensions have reduced to a simmer. Hezbollah got its revenge. Israel got its retaliatory attack. There was no wider war. So the danger has been averted. But for West Asia, it's a wait-and-watch game. For now, the region can breathe until the next flare-up.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making First Post 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup Bangladesh has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect?